On this week's episode of Friend Code, it's time for the big Pre-E3 show! How's it going, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Friend Code. I'm your host, Michael Damiani. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, returning once again, Ash Paulsen from Game Explain. How's it going, Ash?
I am doing great, thank you, and thanks so much for having me back. It's great to be here.
Such a good thing. Wanted to have you back sooner, and there was a topic I wanted you on, was the month we got shut down because we didn't have our patron goal for that. I was like,
Okay.
I was like, well, following month we're coming back. We're getting you on it, so thank you so much for coming back.
Well, thank you for having me.
Brad Ellis.
Achievements!
Yeah, there it is. I was waiting for it. I was like, I want that achievements.
Still holding
we have a lot to talk about, so we're going to go pretty briskly through this. Sorry for any disappointment you might have in terms of being thorough and covering every single game. Some stuff might get skipped over. We might not go into this depth as much as possible. A lot of this discussion is being driven by patron-submitted questions that you all submitted this week, so thank you very much in advance for those. I would like to start off with the most obvious thing, because we just got past it. The Pokemon news that just came out this Tuesday from a very secret Japanese press-only invite event that the Pokemon Company live tweeted.
Yeah,
and
you can take pictures,
and decided that was like the best way to deliver this news.
Yeah.
Brad, you have already talked about this on this week's episode of the Easy Allies podcast. So Ash, a lot of these are going to be directed at you because I want to get your impressions from this.
All right.
We got three big pieces of news, obviously. We got Pokemon Quest for mobile and Switch, which is on Switch already. We streamed it this Tuesday, so everyone... I actually saw Game Explain was streaming it as well when it came out, so there's a lot of impressions of that already. We got the big reveal of the highly, it was worst kept secret of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Interesting stuff that they're doing with that.
Yes.
And the sort of biggest announcement, I would say, is that there is another mainline traditional Pokemon game coming to the Switch in the second half of 2019. So, starting with you, Ash, what were your thoughts on these announcements and each one of these announcements? Sorry.
Well, despite how some hardcore Pokemon fans might be feeling, I actually do think the Pokemon Company knows their audience incredibly well, because they clearly positioned those announcements in that specific order because they knew how their audience was going to react. They knew that people were going to be upset about Pokemon Quest. They knew that people were going to be upset about Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. But they knew that the news that their core audience wanted was the fact that there is another mainline Pokemon game, Gen 8, I suppose, coming next year. But I gotta say, I was in the Resetera threads about Pokemon, the whole thing, and as it was happening, and I'm like, people act like Pokemon Quest, killed their family. They're so angry about it. And I'm like, okay, granted, I played Pokemon Quest. It's not my thing. It's, it's free to start and microtransactions. I get that. It's not what most of us want. But there's nothing wrong with them going in that direction for a side game. And I gotta say, I love that art style. I mean, the gameplay is kind of, not all that fun in my opinion, but I love the art style. I wouldn't mind seeing that come back, but people are so offended by this game, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I was very surprised. The transformation GIF that the Pokemon Company tweeted out of Pikachu turning into the box Pikachu,
Yeah.
I think that sold a lot of us when we were reacting to looking at the tweets. We were like, okay.
Yeah.
Good aesthetic there, but I from what I saw, I kind of agree with you on the gameplay. It doesn't speak to me personally, but
I also
I don't feel like I don't find I don't get what people would call it offensive or even get that offended
I'm not
by it.
angry about
and I don't also know if it's necessarily aimed at me.
It's
for a
exactly.
different
And it's
target.
okay. It's okay to not have every game aimed at the core audience.
Part of a 3-part announcement. So if you're not happy with this one thing, okay, move on to the next one. And I know some people weren't also not happy with the Let's Go games.
Yeah.
But they had that ace up their sleeve of the traditional Pokemon game coming to Switch second half. And I want to start there because I think that's the biggest thing. I think both on Easy Allies and on Game Explain, we've covered the first two things to death. And I want to start with the first question from Matt Brookbank, who wants to know. They basically took we'll get to your question after this. Professor Metal Gear actually has the first question. Sorry. And he took the words right out of my mouth for what I wanted to when I heard about the 2019 announcement. So any predictions on the Pokemon Switch game? Do you suspect it'll be a new Gen 8 game, or do you think it'll be a remake from a previous gen, or are we seeing another Pokemon RPG a la XD, Gale of Darkness?
I think it's straight up going to be another mainline Pokemon game. I think it'll be Gen 8. I don't think they're going to take the risk of releasing a remake after a remake. Like, essentially, Let's Go is a remake.
Yes.
So I think that because they're teasing it already and they're reassuring core fans, hey, what you want is coming in 2019, don't worry. I don't think they're going to say that and then it'd be like a Gen 4 remake. Like, I think it's going to be Generation 8 or whatever the new Pokemon generation is.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think they do two remakes with the Let's Go.
I think that'd be
PG.
really
That would
foolish to do that.
Even though they're claiming it's just inspired by Pokemon Yellow instead of like a literal remake, but
Right.
fans will have their field day with that.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna do both of those like that.
No way.
Yeah.
But the next question from Matt Brookbank, I think this is the more juicy subject here.
All right.
Is do you think there's any chance the new Pokemon game will be like an open air Breath of the Wild style game?
Oh, man.
I wish.
Or do you think it'll be more like Sun and Moon, like an iteration of the 3DS games, but just for the Switch?
Well, if there's one thing we know about Game Freak and the Pokemon Company, we know that they love their iteration, and we know that they don't like shaking up the formula too much, which I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. However, you know, that's good and bad, I guess, right? And so I would not expect any major shakeups with the Pokemon Switch game. I think it's going to be, you know, a high-definition, traditional Pokemon RPG.
I hope, I'm hoping for, like, that kind of leap. I feel like Pokemon needs kind of, like, a little leap.
Yeah.
I haven't played a lot of the Pokemons,
Yeah.
you know that, Damiani, but they all kind of still look the same to me. I feel like it might be asking a lot, but I would love big scope. Like, this is like what we want Pokemon to be, the real deal. It's no longer just like the typical like Zelda style view or like that, just small little areas, like big towns, big world to explore, something like that. But I think it will be like the other.
I do wonder, though. I don't know if they'll still... I don't think they're going to shake up the formula much at all. However, I don't know if they'll still go with the overhead view. I feel like they might leverage the fact that they're finally on a console.
I hope so.
To actually have a behind-the-back
That's what I'm hoping.
3D
Yeah,
view.
like
That's
console, like here we go console.
Yeah.
It's been on handhelds forever, but if it's on a console, I hope a little more.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll say like the few times where you do get that behind the back view in Kalos and Alola and X and Y and Sun and Moon, I loved that. I loved having that new vantage point through these, you know, Pokemon worlds, and I actually hope they don't go back to the overhead view just because there's so much more they can do. These are really cool worlds to explore. I like exploring them. I want to see them through the trainer's eyes, or at least behind their shoulder. You know.
You made a great point there, Ash. Given Game Freak's kind of their pedigree and their history, I don't see them going too They're not going to shake up things radically with this. You're not going to get the equivalent of you're not going to get like the Breath of the Wild
treatment
of Pokemon, essentially. Not just like literally, but also figuratively in terms of change. But at the same time, what you were talking about, what Brad was also alluding to as well, I do think they can leverage being on a console and doing more of a visual leap. I know Game Freak gets a little bit of flack for not really excelling in that area either. They get accused a lot of taking like the easy route when it comes to graphical upgrades with each generation. I think it would be nice if they could, let me just immerse myself in whatever region we're going to and like enjoy those environments, see them from the different cameras, have a rotating camera just for like, oh my,
how great would that be?
Full like 360-degree rotating camera, like and going up and down, tilting up and down. So good. Like, would just like love that.
Really,
I think that would be enough to start with to get me hooked back into like Pokemon. I'll be like, wow.
Yeah, get me back.
And not only that, for me, a big one would be the battle visuals, just because, you know, as close as X and Y and Sun and Moon got, I mean, even without there was no stereoscopic 3D, and despite that, it was still like sub 30 frames per second in a lot of battles. And if they can get a silky smooth, really nice looking HD 60 frame per second battles, that would get me. I mean, I'm probably going to play it anyway, but that would get me really excited because that would be like the true realization of what a lot of fans I think have been wanting.
Yeah,
for
me.
Oh yeah, for over a decade, really more. You know,
they definitely could push in that area a little bit harder. And I think to anyone who's wants a more purist version of it, Nintendo gives them options. Like I'm thinking most analogous to Fire Emblem, where you can kind of like curtail down the options from like full blown 3D visuals and like the newer ones to instant battles on the map where you don't even like see anything happen. It gives you a range of that to, like, maybe you could turn it back to a more classic style where it is just like, you really want that? Okay, sure. We'll give you the fixed camera angles from each side and stuff like that.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, they could definitely appeal to both multiple audiences.
The cameras, the angles can be fixed. That's fine. I just want there not to be like performance issues with these.
Oh, yeah,
because
they've
they
had
were so
those.
bad
Yeah.
in Gen 5 or 6 and 7.
Yeah, I
and
want this to feel high budget. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big deal when it comes out. Like, I know Pokemon itself is a big deal when it comes to Pokemon, but I want them to, like, feel like this is a huge opportunity for them to go off handheld and go onto an actual console.
For sure. And I want to wrap it up by saying I think a little bit, I don't know if you agree with this, but after these two announcements, the first two announcements, especially with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, I think they are setting up everyone to have higher expectations, whether that's their intent or not, for this next one. Because we've seen the level of visuals in this one, and I think most people could expect it's got to at least look better than this one, right? It's got to look better than like the in-game visuals for Eevee and Pikachu, right? Like,
Yeah,
they're
although I
spending
have
this
to
more
say-
time on it. Yeah.
I mean, I have to say though, like Andre and I did a whole discussion about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and he pointed out actually that I was kind of down on the visuals because I was mostly focusing on the battles, which to me looked like HDified Pokemon Go battles. But I gotta say, he pointed out that the visuals outside of battle, like the routes and the various area maps, actually looked really nice, and the trainer models.
Oh yeah, they look
Like-
much better than anything we like have seen before. And I actually
Yeah.
don't think they look. I wasn't trying to argue they look bad.
Sure.
As good as I think they look, I think the calling it a mainline next installment
Sure.
raises the bar right there.
Fair enough,
So I
yeah.
think they got to shoot for a little bit higher than that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
Let's move into the stuff, other stuff regarding E3. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. Let's start with Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Smash Brothers 2018. We know it's going to be playable. We know Nintendo's going to have it at E3 big time. This thing's like got to be ready to go like pretty soon. So let's start with the biggest question. You've probably both been asked this several times before, at least thought about it. Do you expect this to be a Smash 4.5 or an extension of the previous Smash Brothers generation, or a brand new Smash game?
I'm going to be really obnoxious and say that I think it's going to be a little bit of A and a little bit of B. I think it's going to be
fair.
something a little more akin to a Smash 4.75, if that makes any sense. Where I do believe that the roster, like this character roster and the stage roster, I believe they're going to be based on the skeleton of Smash 4. I don't really expect that we're going to get any cuts. I think we're just going to get the roster with new stuff. But I think there's going to be a little more different than maybe than some are expecting. I don't think it's going to be like a Smash 4 Deluxe. Like, this isn't going to be a deluxe version like Mario Kart 8 to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, this is going to be more significant than that, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be a full Smash 5, but I do think it's going to be more than just like a deluxe style port. Yeah.
What about you, Brad?
That sounds pretty convincing. I want it to be like, boom, next big Smash game. That's what I want.
All right.
But with their track record recently, it's been like kind of reiterating on previous things like that. I hope like seeing Breath of the Wild Link is that just a new skin for Link? Is he gonna play the same, or is it gonna be a completely different Link or something like that if they have the other Links in there?
I can't imagine that they would tease Champion Link the way they did and just have him be a costume for Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Link. I don't
Like, is he gonna have
but
different
yeah.
mechanics and
Yeah,
everything?
definitely.
You could like use like,
You know
different
those
weapons.
runes are coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
we
could
know.
use
Although-
Oh, yeah.
Slate.
That does really make me curious, though, what happens to the Link that we've known so far. Is Mario going to get Cappy and have something to replace? Because I can see Smash fans being Smash fans, and I am one, people being upset that the original versions of their main, like, oh, I was a Link main, and now I can't play Twilight Princess Link
Yeah.
the way I'm used to. What happens there? So,
Oh, yeah. Do they keep the existing ones, just add on these newcomers?
Right.
Do they cut them? And then the whole discussion about like roster bloat and stuff, which actually leads into the next question, our first patron question for Smash Brothers. Chris Park wants to know about the roster specifically. He wants to know, how do you think the new Smash game will resolve legacy spots, if at all? Will characters like Shulk be DLC in the future, as he might be replaced by Rex, similar to how Roy was replaced by a few of the other Fire Emblem characters in the past? So you think they're going to swap out any of older characters who might have been, like, because Shulk was for Xenoblade Chronicles, we got Rex now for 2. Do you see that kind of happening for some of the characters in the roster? Or do you think, maybe they'll just like add, as I was saying earlier, let's keep the old ones and add the new ones?
I think that because we're specifically talking about Smash Wii U here, and the fact that the Wii U is one of the most underplayed, undersold consoles that Nintendo's ever had, I don't think they're going to take the approach of taking the most underplayed console Smash game, which I think it is, and take away characters for the people who are playing it now for the first time on Switch. Now, of course, that's assuming that that there's a port element to it.
Yeah.
But I just don't see them taking away completely unique movesets like Shulk. And replay and making them DLC. Now I know they did that for Lucas. Like I know Lucas was DLC and stuff. I hear it, but I just don't see that happening. At least not with Shulk. Maybe with certain. I mean, you brought up Roy, and that's a good point. However, Roy was already a clone, kind of. He's based on Marth, so you're not losing as much. I mean, look, I like Roy, but you're not losing as much with a Roy as you are with a Shulk. You know.
Absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
You agree with that, Brad?
Yeah, I kind of do. I hope they changed some of the dupe characters. Like, I hope they changed Ganon. Like, I want Ganondorf to play different.
yeah.
Like, I love Ganondorf, but I would like him to be a little more unique instead of just a Falcon clone.
He's a budget Captain Falcon.
I know, yeah.
He deserves so much
like,
better. He's
like
Ganondorf.
Yeah, he's like one of the most famous villains in video game history.
Yeah.
It's like, surely got some respect.
I want the Hyrule Warrior.
Yeah, look how
version.
DK and Bowser play. They're very unique characters,
Yeah.
and that definitely makes sense. Still going on the roster thing, I'm curious. Gonzalo Ruiz is curious. Hey, allies, do you think any character, not including third parties, will be cut in the new Smash? So not just replaced. Like, do you think there are going to be some cuts made? And who do you think those will be cut, if any?
Cuts.
Like, any character you might just see as like just not popular.
The Fire Emblem characters, are they from Awakening? And not like Fates and Conquest? Or are they from that?
They're from Corrin's from Fates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucina's Lucina and Robin.
And then the Robin, yeah.
I mean,
like
the only cut. So go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Game & Watch is the only one, but like so iconic.
Game & Watch.
I just feel like they won't.
And
ever ditch
and
Game
he's
&
also a
Watch.
completely unique moveset. So
Rob, maybe.
But again, you've got another totally unique moveset. Why would you get rid of it? I mean, even with Melee, they only got rid of characters like Pichu and Brawl. They only got rid of characters like Wolf, which, look, I know Wolf has fans, but at the end of the day, Wolf is still kind of cloney to Fox. But he was less of a clone to Fox than Falco, so I wouldn't mind if Falco got cut and replaced with Wolf personally. But no, I kind of, if there are cuts, and I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and say I don't think there are going to be any cuts.
Okay.
I don't really see a compelling reason for there to be, but if there are, I think it would be most likely to be the clones, like Dr. Mario, Lucina, and Dark Pit. I feel like they're the least likely to come back, but I
see
also
Dark Pit getting cut pretty easily.
But I also,
Pit and Dark Pit. I completely forgot that. Yeah.
I would much rather than what I'd like them to do is actually just further differentiate Lucina, Dark Pit, and Dr. Mario rather than cut them.
Yeah, me too.
But I guess those are the only ones that feel at risk to me. But even I kind of feel like if you can make Lucina fans happy by giving her a slot in the roster, even if she does mostly play like Marth, why would you take that away? And Lucina is an overwhelmingly popular character. So,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like they're going to be cuts this time.
And you made your earlier point about how if we're on the assumption this is like a port elements are in this version,
right?
Not enough people. A lot of people did play and buy the Wii U Smash Brothers or 3DS, but we have to be operating in the mindset that Switch is a whole different beast. Way more people own it. This will be a lot of people's first time possibly playing a Smash game or playing this iteration of Smash, which is iterative of the last version, the Smash for Wii and 3DS. So it would be smart for Nintendo to leave those characters in, like they put all that work in there, let people try them out and stuff. But
exactly.
I can also see the flip side. If the roster is getting too big, they're gonna add new characters. They're worried about whatever, just
roster bloat. Or at the same time, I know there are some people out there, Andre being one of them. I love him, but he's like, Smash needs to go back to basics, and maybe instead of adding more and more, let's get some real change in there. And I respect that viewpoint, but I like it. Let's do that and have an ever expanding roster, because I think it's awesome that we went from 38 characters or something in Brawl, I think, to almost 60 in Smash 4. And I'm like, you know what? Let's not mess with that. Let's try to hit 70. I'm all about that chaos and craziness, but alongside some real changes, like perhaps Champion Link, how they're maybe retooling some veterans, which I think does need to happen.
I definitely agree, and I like that point about I agree with you expanding the roster. I love seeing all those different characters in there.
Me
I
too.
hate when something gets cut. Honestly, I just want more and more. I know it's more work and it's a tall order, but it makes me very happy at the end of the day.
Totally.
So let's let's wrap this up by going to some exciting things, like the predictions about this.
Okay.
So I purposely left out third-party characters from those last two questions. So, what do you expect what next third-party character do you expect, if any, to be added to this new Smash Brothers game?
Sora.
I
Sora!
hope so.
Sora.
Please, Square. Please make this happen.
Let's go.
Please, Square and Disney. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm not. Oh man.
How you know what would be amazing? Because some of the DLC characters for third party didn't get really sick CG videos like a lot of the reveals.
That's true.
So not only would it be awesome to do some of the characters like Cloud. Imagine if they did a Cloud CG trailer like as part of this. But yeah, seeing Sora, like a nice CG trailer saying Sora joins the fight.
Yep.
You know, oh my Brad.
That would be
dude.
Yes.
That would be almost more than I could handle it. Like honestly, Mega Man was my dream character, and he's already in, and that would be number one for me. But Sora is at this point the one third-party character I want more than anybody. Yeah.
I'll bring up the rumors, the stuff about like Ridley finally coming true.
Cool.
There's been rumors about Ridley. Simon Belmont has been tossed around.
Please.
Right.
So I mean, those would be interesting. I've seen wishful hoping of Banjo making it in because Phil Spencer has said, "Hey, we're down Nintendo. You want to talk about this?
I know.
Want to make Banjo happen in Smash?" I think that would, for
That could be
Nintendo
interesting.
fans, that would get them pretty excited. That would be a
be
huge thing.
Overjoyed with that. I mean, and it's true. Phil Spencer's like, "Hey, we're down, so why let's
not?
make this happen." I mean, why not have Banjo and Kazooie in there? Like, I think that would be great personally.
Yeah, in terms of impact,
Yeah.
Sora's like probably like the biggest semi-realistic thing I could expect. Banjo would be like right there as well.
Yeah.
Other ones would just be like way too crazy and insane. It probably would never happen.
I would love like a Chrono Trigger character, like Chrono.
Oh, if that could
or
ever happen.
Frog,
That'd be
or
nice.
Robo.
That
It'd
would
be
be
amazing.
amazing.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
The next part, because I would really like to see this return. Do you think that we will see the return of adventure mode or something similar in this?
so.
Melee's adventure
I think
mode.
so. I think maybe the complaints about Smash 4, as fantastic as it was, the single player component being, kind of undercooked. I think those complaints were hopefully heard loud and clear, and that we'll get something. I don't know how significant it'll be. I don't know if it'll be something that people love, but I do think there will be something beyond what there was in Smash Wii U, I hope.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that mode so much. And finally, do you think this game will launch alongside Switch's online service and
That's the big question.
because we got a date on Pokemon now.
Yeah.
That's November 16th, right? November 16th.
That's true.
think
No,
it is.
November, which is near Nintendo Day, which is the usual Nintendo Day that's whatever big.
October's already got the landmines of Red Dead and
Yeah.
and like Battlefield right next to that as well. September's pretty crowded too, but Smash would be big enough, I think, to kind of like muscle its way
Smash,
in.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
do you think this is the game that they launched their service with?
I don't like. What else would it be then? For
I mean, we
an
know it's not
online game?
Pokemon now. We
Yeah.
can't
Have
be
to be.
Pokemon.
It
So
would, like, have to be
What else
Smash.
can they launch it with? I mean, and I was the one, because we've talked about this on Game Explain discussions, and I've been holding out like, no, I think it's going to be their November 18th, their Nintendo Day game, and now, or November 21st. Now we know that Pokemon is around there, and that's a Switch game, and it's not a 3DS game. It's a Switch game. So
With no online either.
with no, I think that was actually
is it-
confirmed to be a mistranslation,
good.
misunderstanding. So there is online.
That's
but,
good.
It's weird because I think my hesitation to say probably September is just because we're so unused to having such a short hype cycle for Smash. Like when I think Smash, I'm like, okay, this has been in development forever. They're going to keep pushing it, and it's Sakurai, so he's going to take every last day he can. But it would go to follow that apparently they've been working on this maybe since the vacation he took after Bayonetta came out, Corrin and Bayonetta, which means what that means they probably started working on this in late 2015, summer 2015ish.
Okay, yeah.
Which is about 3 years
Yeah.
of development. So that if
a-
it
yeah.
is a enhanced port-ish type thing,
Oh yeah, that's
would-
more than enough time.
Yeah, that seems
also,
like it, yeah.
I think it benefits fighting games who have a shorter kind of like cycle from announcement to release.
I do too.
Because the days of trying to like drag out those character roster reveals,
yeah.
doesn't go well anymore. I know
Yeah.
Nintendo did their best job with the Smash Dojo sites and everything like that, but
Yeah,
that
I
stuff
w-
would get so leaked.
I will,
Yeah.
and it's true, but I will say that I have never experienced a hype train quite like the Smash 4. There have been nothing
Smash
nothing
games.
like it. I don't know if there'll ever be anything again like that hype train, just because with Smash, whatever this is, the new one, we already know that the hype phase is like a few months, and it's not as if there's been a website that Sakurai has been updating with a daily pick every day.
Yeah.
So I do think it's just going to be like this, hey, it's out, and here, new characters and stuff, and I think that does help, kind of put a tamper on leaks because that was such a problem with Smash 4. At the same time, it is kind of a shame to lose that build up of, hype, I guess.
It is. I guess in this day and age, because it's so hard to keep things secret, I like that small, intense burst now.
Totally.
That's what keeps me excited.
And for example, I'm super glad even now. I'm so glad Cloud didn't leak. I would much rather.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Oh my
so
God,
glad
yeah.
Cloud
Oh,
didn't
yes.
leak. So happy.
Yeah, that's.
And I hope
really
Sora, if that does happen,
Yeah.
please do not let
Yeah,
Sora leak. If that
don't
does
leak-
happen,
don't leak
don't
it. Don't
let
leak
that
it.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, third-party character. I forgot.
No.
Solaire. Put Solaire in there.
Oh.
I've seen that. I've seen people saying that. Yeah.
Could definitely happen.
Yeah,
It's not. I
trying to
mean,
think.
definitely
Amiibo,
possible,
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4
Yes.
is a little bit. I want to call it a little bit of wild card because all we've seen, and it was announced last E3, we got a logo, we got a bit of music. Metroid Prime 4 is what it's called. Press release had a little bit of details about who was working on it. Sort of like at first it said internal studio at Nintendo. Now there's been a lot of rumors since. Everyone, like a lot of different companies being involved. Everyone from like Bandai Namco being involved.
Right.
To I've heard another company was supposed to be involved. And I was like, wait, what? Okay, didn't make any sense. But I mean, I guess it makes sense because they do have a relationship with Nintendo. But I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm working with Metroid. Why are these companies working with Metroid? Whatever. Anyway. We've seen nothing of this though, like nothing tangible.
Right.
We don't even know if it's actually going to
time.
be at E3. We're hoping it's going. We're expecting it, and I think this first question from VG Junkie is a good place to start. Hey panel, regarding Metroid Prime 4, do you think it can live up to the hype? Since it's been so long since the last entry, do you think that they should play it safe and give us something derivative but solid? Or should they try to experiment and reinvent the formula like they did with Breath of the Wild? And a bonus question, do you think they'll learn any lessons from the mistakes of Other M and the damage done to Samus as a character, or will they just repeat them again? Woo!
It's a loaded
Spicy.
question. Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I
like
mean,
it, VG
we got
Junkie.
Samus Returns like a year ago, right? That was delivering like this kind of safe pick, I would say, for Metroid.
Oh yeah, that's very safe and stuff, but
Yeah.
that's also like, it's like a it's a
I mean, it's a remake, but
It's a
it's
remake.
like it's a Metroid game that people like. It's like
Right.
familiar and they can understand it. I mean, they could just flip it on its head. Since it's Prime
I think people
4,
are expecting more than
if it's Prime 4 still, I
Yeah.
think it'll be first person still kind of thing. But
Yeah. I think
that name could change, I guess.
I mean, I think the very fact that it's called Prime 4 means it's part of the Prime subseries, and I don't expect things to be really turned on their ear. I mean, even Prime Federation Force was obviously a Metroid Prime game, despite all the other issues that people had with it. So I don't expect 4 to really turn things on their ear, but I'm sure they'll do something to set it apart. But I do very much think they're going to deliver the standard HD, current generation Metroid Prime that people have been wanting. I don't think they want to rock the boat too much with that. I also don't think, because this isn't, well, I guess it really depends on how far away they're able to keep Sakamoto from it, but I don't think they're gonna
they're not gonna
mess with Samus's character like that anymore. I don't. We saw Samus Returns, like you said, and she was perfectly characterized in that. I don't think that Other M was an anomaly. I don't think they're going to further ruin her character in Prime 4. I just don't see it. Although,
I
I
think
guess
she'll be
they-
back to more to the Prime kind of Samus that we're familiar
Now, to be
with.
fair, I say that, but then I don't know if you guys finished Federation Force or know how
No.
that ends.
No,
Yeah,
Nope, I just know the ending of Samus Returns, the
Okay.
retcon it did with the Chozo, whatever.
So, I say that, but those of you who have finished Federation Force know that they did kind of mess with their character a bit in that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I don't personally think they're going to really, yeah.
I'm like, honestly, my mind goes to, it is still Metroid Prime, like mechanically. It's like what you expect. Just the scale, everything is like amplified, huge.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Like,
Yeah, me too.
I'm expecting like giant interconnected underground caverns that blow away anything in
Yeah,
Prime. Like,
I
I
hope
don't know,
so.
I want like that Breath of the Wild underground, except like I'm in Samus.
Underground.
Yeah, I'd, like blow the planet. And
really
stuff.
get lost.
The
It's
one
that big.
thing, the
that'd
one
be
thing I am
amazing.
not looking forward to with Prime 4 is getting attacked by Metroids, because I have a thing with like face sucker thing. It really bothers me.
Oh yeah.
And
Yellow
it scared me enough back in the GameCube days, just with those graphics. I don't want a hyper realistic Metroid sucking on my visor at all. That terrifies me.
Intense.
Yeah.
I'm definitely I'm just hoping it stays true to like the Prime vibes.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely looking forward to going back to that style of Metroid. Next question from David Barca wants to know, how do you guys think Metroid Prime 4 will be like? Because I just told you what I was expecting. They want to know what you're expecting. Will there be multiple planets like Prime 3, or do they just go back to a single planet? Will you lose all upgrades and weapons at the start like you usually do?
Of course.
Love and respect, David. Yeah.
I think it'll be one planet. I think the multiple planet thing was a cool experiment that they did use for Prime 3, and it went over well, but I don't think it's something that they necessarily felt like they need to return to.
It doesn't have to be a different planet, because the locales could just be different within the planet.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to actually go to the planet to go to a different area or something like that.
And I kind of feel like with Prime 3, it also made the stakes for each individual area feel a little less. Like, it's not like you're not necessarily saving an entire planet. I mean, I know, ultimately she saved the galaxy from the Phazon stuff, but I don't know, it felt like the stakes were a little less maybe in Prime 3, instead of like actually having this one planet that you really get attached to and start explore thoroughly.
Yeah, I think it worked fine.
Yeah.
But I would also agree and say I personally would prefer to stick to a single unified like planet like theme.
Yeah.
It kind of goes hand in hand with Metroid, unless they have something really crazy and unique to hook on.
Yeah.
That would like really justify that.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs that. I think it benefits more from sticking to the single planet format.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's what I expect. Hope we get it. Final question about Metroid Prime 4. Sweet, just to know some little. From John. Hey, Metroid Prime 4 is still probably a ways away. Probably. True.
Yes.
And although there's a lot of hype from the hardcore Nintendo community, a lot of people have never played or had the opportunity to play the past Metroid Prime games. There are rumors, or at least common sense opinions, that the first three games need to see a re-release before the new one comes out. Will this happen? Will it be announced at E3? And what type of rollout do you expect if true? A trilogy package, or in 3 individual spaced out releases? Awkwardly affectionate hugs, John.
Yes to all the above. I honestly, I mean, I think I would be shocked more if they didn't do a Metroid Prime trilogy re-release. Now the degree to which they're going to be enhanced or HDified, I don't know, but it would shock me if they didn't re-release these games.
The NVIDIA Shield stuff, they're already doing it with the Galaxy.
You're right, yeah.
And
what was it Skyward Sword, I think, or Twilight Princess? Was it?
I'm forgetting the other one. They've done 2. I only know Galaxy, and that's the one I only care about.
Yeah, I know.
Because Galaxy and
But there
HD.
were others, yeah.
But if they are doing that for Shield, it is something within the realm of their capabilities to at least make it in 720p or even 1080p upscaled.
Right.
The Metroid Prime trilogy games. Yeah. I do, only because the trilogy already exists as a package. I feel that they could just release it as one standalone game. A standalone collection of 3. But given Nintendo's practices of late, I also wouldn't put it past them to release each one individually for like $40 or something, because they do have a little bit of a habit of doing that lately.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on the degree to which they enhance it, because if it is, essentially a port of Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Wii, then I think we'll just get it as one standard release, maybe for $60 or $50, but I don't think they're going to sell 3 different barely enhanced ports for that much money. Now, if they really go in and really retool these games and really make them, reasonably current generation, that would, to me, justify them selling them separately. I'd be perfectly happy to rebuy these games if they're substantially upgraded.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about a true, thorough HD remake of Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. I would be so on board for that.
Yep.
But yeah, well, hopefully we'll get to see more of that Metroid Prime 4 at this E3.
Hopefully.
We'll have to wait and see. Next up, going back to the rumor, we talked about this pretty recent. It's a recent rumor, but Fox Grand Prix. we've covered this to death, but I want to talk about what we might think will show at E3, if anything. As I said, it's a Star Fox racing game that was leaked, and several sources confirmed that their sources had told them it's real, and it's supposed to be like Diddy Kong racing with a elaborate adventure style racing game, or like Crash Team Racing. A lot of crazy ideas people have been throwing around for it. So here's the thing. I want to flip the script a little bit, because the last time we covered this on Friend Code, we were kind of pushing a message of that people need to chill out with these knee-jerk reactions and understand that this is the big deal. I didn't say this. I apologize. This is what Retro is supposedly working on. So that's like where some of the quote unquote disappointment came from. Right. Is that working on a Star Fox racing game. We pushed the message that like people need to chill out because Retro has such a great pedigree. Look what they've done. How many times would they proven everyone wrong? I want to flip the script and talk about other people's views who see this in a little bit more of a negative light and see if we maybe see some of their points. Sure. So basically, I'm going to start with a question here. Hello, allies. With the seemingly all but confirmed news of a new Retro Studios Star Fox racing game, I wanted to ask the panel if they think Nintendo is making a mistake by not letting Retro create a brand new IP, given the fact that they've already proven they can tackle Nintendo-owned IPs. I'm a huge fan of the work they did with Prime Trilogy and the DK games, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed upon finding out that they likely aren't getting a new IP as their new project. Do you think that it's Nintendo is too hesitant to let Retro spread their wings more, or is this on Retro? I'm still very curious to see what this new Star Fox game could be. I'm just initially very underwhelmed. Love and respect, Jared from KC, Kansas City, I'm assuming.
Those are all good points.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I think Nintendo's making a mistake by not letting them work on a new IP, because I think it actually does make business sense for them to lean on what they know works. Do I think it would be more exciting and more interesting, and should they let them do that at some point? Absolutely yes. But I don't know if it's a mistake that they haven't yet. Especially considering how long this, whatever they've been working on, whether it's Star Fox Grand Prix or not, has taken. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's a mistake that they haven't, but I do think that they should let Retro work on their own IP at some point, and maybe we've already reached that point. I mean, I agree. They've more than proven that they've got what it takes. And I personally would probably rather see something brand new than a Star Fox racing game, but this is Retro. If that's what they're making, I'm pretty damn sure it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So
I definitely agree. I think mistake is a little bit of a strong word for this, but at the same time, I see two things going on here. There's nothing that has been said other than the report that Retro was working on a second game and it might have been canceled. Whether that's true or not, there's nothing. We don't have definitive proof at this moment. They aren't working on two projects right now.
It's possible.
So always consider that and when you're thinking about this, that even though if this is true, Star Fox is only will be the only publicly announced game that we've seen from Retro. They could always be working on quote unquote a new IP at any time. So it's easy to just like dismiss that and not consider that. I would need to wait on like someone from Retro speaking out or something like, hey, we had like a project. Nothing indicates that they feel like disenfranchised or like there's like turmoil or dissatisfaction on the projects they're working on. I'm drawing comparisons to like what happened with Rare with a Dinosaur Planet and then being forced to make that Star Fox Adventures. I don't see any hints of that just yet with this. Like, it's not the same. I see some fans trying to make parallels for that.
I don't think we know nearly enough about this.
There's not enough.
No.
The second thing I want to take into consideration is that Star Fox is important to Nintendo. They've said it themselves that is an important IP to them. Nintendo proper have struggled in recent attempts to make this series stand out and succeed. And I think them turning to Retro is a good solution because to try and make Star Fox relevant, they're turning to someone who has twice before.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to bring up. I think Star Fox has been kind of struggling for a while. They try to pass it off, it didn't work out. They're like, let's give it to someone we could really trust and we'll let them do whatever they want with it. Maybe Retro was like, hey, we want to make a racing game or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, they could be doing a new IP. Like, that's totally possible. They could have made one, just canceled it. But whatever Retro's making, I'm, like, super confident in usually.
Yeah.
Like, even when I hear stuff from them and I was like, what are they making, a Donkey Kong game? I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Then I saw it, I was like, oh, yes. Yes, please make Donkey Kong.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, I mean, to be quite frank, I think Nintendo fans, and especially Star Fox fans, should be so lucky that we're getting another Star Fox game, period, ever after the way Zero landed and just didn't make a splash at all. And it's so clear that Nintendo has no idea what to do with Star Fox. And so I think it's pretty lucky that isn't a dead IP after Zero. Like,
oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of glad that even if it isn't, like, my first choice of what Retro could have been making, I'm kind of glad that Star Fox, if this is real, isn't gone. It's nice to see signs of life after Zero.
Oh yeah, it's really I feel it's a really good thing for Nintendo to get, if this is true.
Yeah.
And we got to stress again, this has not been announced. It's
Right.
not confirmed.
All
Like, just like in the
rumors.
last
All
episode.
rumors, yeah.
So, I mean, because there was, we're not talking about it on this episode, but there was another leaked list of games, and one of them mentioned another Star Fox game that didn't look anything like, the description didn't sound anything like this racing game. So who knows what's going on over there. And just to wrap this up, because like we talked about Star Fox to death. Assuming the rumors surrounding this comes from Aster, one of our patrons submitted questions. Assuming the rumors surrounding Star Fox Grand Prix are legitimate, what do you think this means for the fate of Nintendo's painfully neglected F-Zero series? Do you think a project like this is a sign of retirement for Captain Falcon and company? Also, super excited to have Ash on the show.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And that was kind of my angle about it. It's not so much, they're making a Star Fox racer so much as it is they're not making a new F-Zero. It's they're making a racing game that isn't F-Zero. And I don't, between perhaps Star Fox Grand Prix and the fact that we got remakes of Mute City and Big Blue and Mario Kart 8, I don't know what that means for F-Zero. I want to believe so much that they are going to make another one, but more and more I'm kind of starting to think, yeah.
I'm a little worried because especially after all the stuff with Wipeout, I don't think it did too terribly well.
Oh, it didn't, huh? Omega Collection?
I don't think. I mean, it wasn't a breakout success. It wasn't a huge success.
Okay.
I apologize if it's to their expectations. It sold well enough, but I don't see people clamoring about Wipeout. And I'm not. Outside Nintendo community is not a lot of people clamor for like F-Zero either. So they're very it's a very smaller demographic for that. And as you said, I feel like they're kind of scratching that itch in other ways a little bit with like the Mario Kart 8 tracks. This is something they could incorporate F-Zero stuff in.
Yeah, so I was thinking they could. Captain Falcon could be in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to joke, but I like to joke with Star Fox fans saying, those of you who've really been paying attention know this was messaged all the way back in 2006 with that one possible ending where Fox and Falco joined the G0 unit. It's so ridiculous, but this was announced back in 2006 if it's real.
We all want to believe, and I know it's true.
I'd be so in for that.
I would be so down for a crossover between F-Zero and Star Fox. Would be great.
If they were to leverage both properties, I think I argued this in the last episode, Friend Code. Star Fox, I believe, is currently the stronger IP despite everything that's happened in F-Zero.
Oh, yeah.
But if they were to leverage both together under a Star Fox name, it might be able to ensure the continuation of both properties in some form, and fans still get what they want. So while it might not even have F-Zero on the title, if it's true, wait to see it, because who knows? They might have thrown Captain Falcon or F-Zero style racers into. You might see the Blue Falcon in there racing alongside an R-Wing. I mean, we sort of saw that in a previous F-Zero game to like a little bit with the James McCloud stuff, but who knows? Like, there's a lot of possibilities here. Give it a chance if it's true. That's enough of Star Fox. I just want to see if it's true at this point. I don't want to hear anything else.
Let's go.
Let's talk about something we haven't seen anything about since its announcement. Fire Emblem Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. We have not seen anything in this game. And it was
sure
announced.
Have not.
It was announced before like E3 and stuff.
It was announced way back at the Switch presentation thing. Right?
Yeah, Switch presentation, and the Fire Emblem Direct was the next time we saw. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yes, I honestly, I fully expect this to be at E3 in some form because they said it was supposed to come out this year, and we're almost halfway through the year. Straw Hat Ninja agrees with us. Their question is related to Fire Emblem for Switch. Fire Emblem is almost guaranteed to be there, considering it still has a 2018 release date. So what new feature would you like to see in this new Fire Emblem for Switch? Would you want a normal Fire Emblem setting, or something like the pirate theme that was a rumor earlier? Also, props to you guys for getting Ash back. I'm a big fan of Game Explain, and I know he shares my Smash hype.
Yes, I was actually going to say I recognize the name Straw Hat Ninja from our own Patreon backer, so thank you. That's hard because I like Fire Emblem, but I'm not like a hardcore Fire Emblem fan, so it's hard for me to say. I think what fans want is something that really dials back on the whole waifu angle, the whole dating, marriage, kids angle.
That'd be nice.
I think that's what hardcore fans want. At least from
I don't think it will though.
I don't think it will either because that's too
more
popular.
Successful.
Yeah, it's
than
too
ever.
popular. Yeah. That's what the masses want.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they're going to dial back on that, but I don't know if they'll mess with the setting. It's hard to say because they kind of did with Fates.
They could incorporate different elements, I guess, into it. I think it might start out as the traditional setting you expect fantasy. Maybe it could branch out to like weird pirate stuff. That'd be cool, actually.
That'd be awesome. Like battles at sea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm thinking back to the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn on GameCube and Wii, there are a lot of like tactical battles that take place aboard like pirate ships or seabound ships,
Right.
where it's like there's only one plank to cross over the ship, so you got to take into consideration. What I would like to see is not necessarily sea battles or anything like that.
Sure.
I would like to see a return to having to take into consideration your environment on the map a little bit more.
Sure, yeah.
Sand slows you down if like you're a heavy user and stuff like that, but also like height and stuff, like you have to climb up, like you have to go up an incline to get to that person can roll rocks down a hill and they can roll down and hit everyone in that line. Like I miss that, like having the ballistas fire out like arrows at range things but you could line a sight. Like I want that to come back, and I haven't seen that element since those 2 installments. So I'm expecting like a big 3D map with 3D models moving along it along the map. And then the battles still are mostly like what we've seen in the recent entries. Just they look a little better because they're on like a console, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I think they will do is I think they're gonna make it co-op. I think they're gonna add co-op to just 2 Joy-Con play. Because you could play Fire Emblem holding the Joy-Con sideways. That's easy enough. It's you're selecting menu options and things like that. There's no reason you can't play it with the Joy-Con held sideways.
Gosh.
So I think they're gonna do a co-op thing.
More than that, imagine if like each person switched to a different part of the map. Like the map is because there are multi-tiered maps.
That's true.
Your partner starts on a different part of a different map, and you're trying to link up. That
could be really cool. But because the whole conceit of the Switch is cooperative. Like playing with you got 2 Joy-Cons with you at all times. Why wouldn't they lean into that for Fire Emblem Switch? It's something that the series has never done, to my knowledge, and would be perfect for the Switch. And not to say that they should do that to the exclusion of a really strong single-player campaign. No way. But I think they're just going to add a co-op to it.
I have a little bit. I apologize because I've not played the last Fire Emblem game I've played is Awakening. I've not touched Fates. I've not played Echoes. So I don't know if they've addressed this in the most recent ones. I mean, I played through Heroes. The complexity and behind recruiting, trying to get every single character through the duration of the game recruited into your company, basically. Because I'm thinking back to not even before Awakening, back to the Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Crazy stuff you had to do. Like if you didn't stand in this spot, a person, and you didn't have like a certain character in that spot, someone won't join you for that battle, which is the only chance to recruit them. I wonder if they're going to go back to that, and if they will make it more streamlined or something. Like maybe you complete a mission and it tells you, hey, you missed a chance for this. Maybe you can go back and replay this mission and get a different outcome or something. Like more of a branching like that, and then maybe that could be a genesis for more of like branching paths where your campaign takes you through slightly different storyline and different battles that you'll go through. So I'm playing through think Star Fox, like Route A, I went through this way, but at this planet, I did this, so now I'm going this way down Route C or something. That'd be kind of cool. I think.
Cool.
Yeah,
like
that would be cool. I just wonder if there'll be 2 versions again.
Please not 2 versions. Just
it worked last time.
It sure did.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll do that again on console. I kind of feel like it's going to be a single release. I don't know. I don't know why.
They just did it with the newest Pokemon game.
That's a good point, though. Yeah, that's a good point.
Speaking of Pokemon and their connection to each other, Pokemon Go and Let's Go, I want to bring it over to Fire Emblem, because we do have a mobile Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Heroes.
Oh, right.
So the last question I have is, after seeing the integration between Pokemon Go and the Let's Go games, and Nintendo saying they want their mobile efforts to link back to the Switch, do we expect anything like this with Fire Emblem Heroes and Fire Emblem Switch, like any connectivity? If so, how do you think they'll do it?
I think that's hard. I feel like the likelihood of that is directly correlated to what they're going for, who they're trying to target with this Fire Emblem game. If we find out that it's kind of a back to basics, trying to get everyone into play it, kind of, introduce newcomers, kind of a casual take, then I could totally see Fire Emblem Heroes connectivity. But if it is a hardcore focused game really for the series fans, then I kind of think we won't.
Okay.
Because I don't know if there's enough in common between the 2 different takes of Fire Emblem that there would be anything meaningful there. Like, you're not going to use hero feathers and
that's
regular Fire Emblem game.
I will concede Go and Let's Go have a lot of
exactly.
a lot of analogous elements to them that make that connection easier. The easiest thing I can think of, maybe to jog your memory, trying to think of an idea, is that you could summon send a bird, dispatch the ravens for help, and your heroes party shows up in a map temporarily to help you out a little bit. and then they vanish or something. It's like an easy mode
Yeah.
essentially for the game.
Right.
I could do like outfits or something really easy like
yeah.
that. Character outfits from that game into
They
it.
could, yeah.
Or
skins or something
superficial
easy.
stuff. Oh yeah.
Superficial stuff, yeah, they
Yeah.
can do
Nintendo
that.
does do that. That's very likely. I think amiibos will more
Sure,
more
yeah,
likely
we'll
accomplish
do
that
that.
if they do
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think that one will have anything other than maybe like in-game ads and heroes saying, "Hey, did you check out the new Switch
Yeah, I don't
thing?" or
think so
something like
either.
that.
Yeah.
I don't see it. One that I think might have more connection. Next game we're going to talk about, Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah, some of us have been waiting for this announcement for a long time. Brandon? Oh man, Brandon has been waiting for this forever. We got the mobile game, so let's talk about what happens next on Switch. Brittany Fuller wants to start us off. Let's talk Animal Crossing for Switch.
Okay.
I think it is inevitable. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp hasn't been very profitable. Even the most dedicated players I know stopped playing within a few months. But I think most felt like it was just a placeholder for the real deal anyways. Do you think Animal Crossing for Switch will be announced at this E3, and will there be any tie-in with Pocket Camp? So kind of more or less the same, but do we think we're going to see it? Is it time? Is it happening?
I think it's time. It kind of feels like it's been long enough since New Leaf, and even New Leaf Welcome Amiibo. I kind of feel like it's time for them to reveal, even if it's a 2019 release, I do feel like it's time for them to reveal the next mainline Animal Crossing. And the only problem and the only hole in my prediction there is that Nintendo has very specifically said that their E3 presentation is going to be generally focused on 2018 releases. But at the same time, there's no way we get through that presentation without seeing Metroid Prime 4, and I don't think that's a 2018 release. So I do think we're going to see Animal Crossing, maybe a tease.
Yeah, but when they say current year, they've been saying that for the last
true.
few years.
Good
I
point.
think it's to try and help keep people's expectation in check. So when they do drop that surprise announcement, like a Metroid Prime 4,
They're like, oh.
people do get excited. It's their way of saying, because let's be honest, Nintendo predictions get probably the most out of hand.
Yeah.
I would say it's like Sony and Nintendo. Like right there with the craziness of what people expect out of a E3 conference or direct, and it's ridiculous. What about you, Brad? You think it's the right time?
I hope so, man. I've been ready for Animal Crossing for a long time. I haven't played Animal Crossing since GameCube, pretty much, like a real one.
City Folk, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm ready, man. As far as like crossing or using them together, I could see maybe items from camp transferring over to get like a picnic bench or something for your house. Maybe some characters. I don't know if there'll be all new characters in the new one or some of the ones from camp will be there. Like Apollo could walk over to your neighborhood or something like that. Hey, buddy, I was visiting.
Yeah, I think like resource stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you can use the mobile game
Sure.
to help collect stuff and then bring them back to your like your main game as well.
I kind of think we'll see something like that.
Yeah.
And I will say, if it isn't announced at E3, I am like 99.9% sure it'll be announced before the end of the year.
Oh yeah,
There's no in a
Oh,
direct
yeah.
or something.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way we end 2018 without a new Animal Crossing announcement, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with
Yeah.
that. Anything else you expect from Animal Crossing? Like, any crazy ideas or what you'd want to see in it?
Does it have they had like online co-op at the same time when you do Animal Crossing now? Like when
They've
you
let-
two players at the same time doing something.
I mean, you can go to visit people's towns and stuff online. And
Can they be there though while you're like?
Yeah, I can't remember
Like,
if
can
you
you
can
guys
actually see
actively
them.
be doing something together? Maybe get a house with another player if you want online.
I'm not the.
I can't
They,
remember.
they can introduce
Yeah.
like marriage in Animal Crossing or something like that. People get married and buy a house together.
I think it would be cool if it had a straight up online component where multiple.
I think it needs to.
You can have an online
Yeah.
town where
Yeah,
multiple
it
of you
has
live in
to.
that town.
It's got to now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the most obvious thing to expect is that
Right.
more of a social element because
Mm-hmm.
it'll keep you playing more. I think that's been what they've been trying to get after, but they've kind of like a little bit missed the mark on with Animal Crossing is that it will keep you in that game for so long. Like, even if you're like done your daily stuff, you're just socializing with your friends or whatever, just having a good time goofing around and stuff. It just makes it more meaningful.
I could see like events a lot more often, like special events, like probably for like games even coming out. They could have crossover events like that. They could be looking at like 14, how they have events all the time.
What
Could have
if-
like a Metroid event or something.
What if, because, again, the whole conceit of the Switch is, playing together. What if they do a thing where, because you can have multiple users on a Switch, you have drop-in, drop-out co-op where somebody else uses a Joy-Con to play with you, and they're playing using their character that they've created on the same system. Like, and you have two different towns going on with different user accounts, and they just make it somehow that you can play together, and this person can, I don't know, help you do things, or give you things from their town, or, I don't know, something. But I could see, I don't know, I feel like, kind of extrapolating from what you said, there needs to be some sort of playing together element that they haven't really done with, before in Animal Crossing. And simultaneous playing together, not just playing in separate instances of the same town.
Yeah, especially with this online system coming up. That'd be a good reason.
I mean, this would have been another, really obvious one to sell the Switch Online service for.
Yeah.
I think, I definitely agree with what you said. And I think it's being announced, if not at E3, by end of the year, we'll see it. I know I skipped over some first-party stuff, Treasure Tracker, it's known quantity. Mario Tennis Aces comes out in the end of June. It'll be right after E3. We're getting a preview of it with an online event going on this coming weekend. Splatoon 2 is an expansion. I know people are excited for that. I'm apologizing for skipping over those because there is so much to cover and stuff. But I just want to acknowledge that I know those games exist. I know they'll probably be at E3, and we'll see stuff from them. There's very known quantities that there isn't a lot of speculation to go on with those right now. There isn't as exciting and enticing as this. So because I want to move on to third party stuff because we talked about a lot of first party stuff. Anything else first party wise, I think this is a pipe dream, and we'll probably cover a lot of it in our rapid fire at the end. But third-party stuff, I want to go down with each of the big third-party companies and ask about what you expect from them, if anything. And we'll start with Sega. Obviously, Sega. We have Bayonetta 3 announced. We have what else do you expect? What Sonic-wise do you expect, if anything? Atlas stuff. With Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah.
What about that, or anything else beyond that? What do you expect from Sega, if anything?
I expect Team Sonic Racing. That's pretty much. I expect their main focus to be Team Sonic Racing. I think we'll get a few kiosks for Sonic Mania Plus.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get Yakuza 2 Kiwami, or I think that's what it's called.
Yakuza, yeah.
Is it
Kiwami 1 and 2?
Yeah, because there was Yakuza Kiwami, right? And then there's Yakuza. They're remaking 2 and 3.
Kiwami 2 now,
so Kiwami 2, yeah. So maybe that, but I don't feel like it's time. Atlas takes their time, so I don't think we're going to see Shin Megami Tensei 5 yet. I do think that the focus for Sega will be very much on Team Sonic Racing.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I would love if they ported Persona 5. I think that'd be awesome if they put that on there.
I don't think
but
so.
I think it's gonna be Sonic. Team Racing. That's about it.
We could maybe see what is that they're doing P5, all the
dancing games,
P5 and P3 dancing, but the Vita's dead here. I don't think we're gonna get to see that.
Yeah,
we got P4 dancing all night, but I don't think we're gonna get the 5 and 3 dancing rhythm games.
I think I don't know about Switch, but I think PS4 is getting them on.
Oh, is it?
I think
have they
so.
been announced
I think
for?
so.
Okay,
Yeah,
my mistake.
For 3 and 5.
Oh, I'm glad they're coming to PS4.
Yes,
Nice.
I think
cool.
so. Yeah.
All right. Well then, yeah.
Because it's kind of.
Well, then, given that, if that's the case, then I would expect to see them there at least playable.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I would think.
You never know.
Because they'd have to come out this year, I would think.
I think so.
But,
yeah.
What about Bayonetta 3? Do you think we're gonna get any game
hands-on?
I don't think we're gonna. I honestly don't think we're gonna
No
hands-on.
way
But do you think they show off it in action, or do we just get a trailer, or is it just not there? Do you think it won't even be there? You won't even think it'd be there? All right.
Just the nature of the Bayonetta 3 reveal. I mean, the fact that we don't even really have a logo. It feels to me like it's
early.
Very early, much like Metroid Prime 4. So I don't expect to see it re-revealed until some special event next year, maybe even the Game Awards this year. Possibly.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't expect to see it at E3.
You agree with that, Brad?
Yeah, I don't really expect to see it. I'd love to. But
Yeah, I'd love to.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You don't think there's any new last thing on Sega I can think of? You don't think there's any new mainline 3D Sonic game in the works?
Not yet.
It was just
Let me rephrase that. There definitely is one in the works.
There will be, yes.
I guess at E3.
But I don't think it's going to be at E3.
I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
I agree. A Capcom.
Capcom,
What do you expect from Capcom? I mean, we know about Mega Man 11.
They'll show the Monster Hunter game, probably. What is it called?
Generations Ultimate.
Yeah,
they'll show that.
It's what, in Japan? Double Cross?
Double Cross HD, yeah.
They just announced Cody for Street Fighter 5. I don't know if they're going to announce, I don't know if they'll show
Do you
off
think they'll be on
Sagat
Switch?
Nah.
Oh, sorry.
Fighter 5,
sorry. This for third party stuff for Switch.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, just specifically, of course, specifically Switch.
Sorry.
Man, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
They'll show off Okami, which I can't wait to see.
Oh yeah,
on
Okami
Switch.
HD.
Cannot wait to see Okami running on Switch. I mean, they really the Mega Man 11 news blitz that kind of hit this week. I don't think they're gonna have anything surprising on that front. It'll be playable at E3, which that's great. I don't know beyond that.
Do you think Resident Evil 2 remake,
No.
if it happens?
It
Well,
won't be on
because
Switch.
I heard the rumor was that it's like remake caliber, like graphics.
Oh,
basically
looks like remake.
Yeah, but it's like but it looks like style, but
Yeah.
like visually, it looks like unbelievably
If it's
good.
like that, then it's possible.
Okay.
I think we'll get it on the cloud.
No,
I think there'll be a cloud
What's the
version
Resident Evil
of
7?
RE2
do you think
remake.
do you think RE7 Cloud Edition is going to be in its 23? Oh my god.
Man, that was such a weird decision. Like, what a weird thing.
I just think of like other stuff that Capcom is like done. The Ace Attorney, that's the other one.
Yes.
The Ace Attorney
Oh,
Switch rumor.
good
yeah,
point.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
possible.
I do
yeah.
think we're going to see. I mean, Ace Attorney remakes of the whole series have been on every platform under the sun at this point, at least every mobile-ish platform. So I would be really surprised if we didn't see at least like Ace Attorney 1 through 3 ports announced or something. But I do think they're going to. I eventually expect to see all 6 Ace Attorney games on the Switch, and I do think that at some point they're going to announce Ace Attorney 7 for Switch specifically.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it'll be at E3. In fact, I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
But I do expect to see something Ace Attorney related on, like, ports.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This one, Bandai Namco. I'm specifically Tales of Switch. This thing has been
I was
rumored
gonna
forever.
Say, Tails, maybe.
I mean, I know historically they're announced at like Japanese events. Is there any chance they finally show this off at E3? My gut says they still say this
Save
for
it.
Japanese
Could be
event.
a port of a
Yeah,
previous
they'll save it for
game.
a Japanese
I just want to
event.
know. I want to see this thing. I've been waiting, but like Bandai Namco, what else? Because we got there is a leak going around right now that some people are trying to say is true. That says like Dragon Ball Fighters
Yeah,
coming to
it's coming to
Switch.
Switch. Yeah, it could.
And it's like, what other Bandai Namco stuff? Soul Calibur 6 is not coming to Switch.
No,
that's
no
not happening.
way.
Cloud version will come to Switch,
Yeah.
and everyone will complain about it.
I mean, Soul Calibur 6 may come to Switch eventually.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it'll come. I don't think it's coming this year.
Not
It may
day and
come-
date. No.
There is one thing I want from Bandai Namco on Switch at E3, and this is based on a rumor that was going around for a while. There's one thing I want: Ridge Racer. I want
Ridge Racer.
I miss Ridge
Yeah,
Racer so
I remember that rumor.
much.
This is the same rumor about
Yeah.
them Bandai Namco studio working on Metroid Prime.
Right.
Yeah.
I miss
Oh,
Arcade
gosh.
Racers so much, and I miss Ridge Racer specifically so
yes.
much. That is all I want from Bandai Namco at E3 this year. Just please give me a new Ridge Racer on Switch or anything. But the rumor says Switch, so please make that be real.
So they just put all the Ultimate Ninja Storm games on Switch
Yeah.
last month. Yeah,
I do 100%. Leak or no leak, rumor no rumor. Dragon Ball Fighter Z will be announced for Switch, I think, at E3. That would shock me if it wasn't.
Big one. What has Square Enix got in store for the Switch? Because they've been talking about. I mean, I know.
Hopefully they'll show Dragon Quest 11 off.
I don't think they will.
I don't know if that's like. I wish that,
Not for-
Brad.
yeah.
I don't think that's
Hopefully.
happening.
Yeah.
We know about World Ends with You, the Switch version
version,
coming
yeah,
out
yeah,
with
for
a
sure,
new
yeah.
character scenario thingamajig.
Right.
I think that'll definitely be there. But Square Enix has said they want to support the Switch more, and they have some stuff in the works. So I want crazy takes here. I want a crazy take.
All right, you want crazy?
I want a
dude?
crazy take
All
for
right.
Square Enix.
Tactics Ogre is coming back on Switch, baby.
Nice.
Ooh, all right, that's good.
All right, we're gonna get full high definition 2D remakes of both Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger.
Oh, Brad's eyes
Spicy.
there.
Yeah,
Chrono
right.
Trigger.
I
That
wish.
one,
Yeah.
the Jones will love that too. 6.
I would,
oh
my
man.
god.
I'm gonna go with a thing I've always joked about for the last few months. I still want to believe that it'll come to pass. Xenogears remake
Oh,
Switch
Xenogears.
exclusive.
That would be amazing.
Where they finished the game?
Square Enix partnered up with Nintendo
Dude,
and
that'd
got
be sick.
Monolith Soft involved on this baby. And here we go, full steam ahead. And Bandai Namco's gonna also be helping out on
man.
this. Xenogears 3D remake,
That'd be
complete
hype
remake,
down
ground
alley.
up for Switch. Big reveal during the Square Enix Direct on Monday morning before the Nintendo Direct on Tuesday. So that's my bold prediction.
Man,
Want it to happen.
that would be really cool.
I wonder if they'll try and do. I'm always curious about this because we know Kingdom Hearts 3 is not coming on Switch. But
Right.
do you think they'll try and put anything Kingdom Hearts related on the Switch
I
ever?
don't know, why they haven't.
And-
The collections they could put on there.
I think
I'm
we've
surprised
already
they
talked
haven't.
about it today. Sora and Smash.
Yeah.
It's what's going to
Yeah.
be is the Kingdom
that's
Hearts
the amount
thing
of
that'll
Kingdom Hearts
be-
to get in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what else. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I could in a general sense, I could see them leaning hard into like retro Final Fantasy either ports or remakes, just because
Oh, yeah,
that's so perfect for the Switch, really.
People have been really like
So,
Sega classic stuff.
I feel like that could
Square
happen.
Enix has like a
Yeah.
package thing.
So I feel like that wouldn't be
Yeah.
out of the realm of possibility, and I think people would love to see FF6 on Switch, even if it is just a port, as long as it's not the iOS port.
Yeah, as long as not that one.
Yeah, or the mobile port.
Do you either of you think EA is gonna have anything interesting for Switch?
Interesting.
I was gonna say.
Interesting. I don't
I mean,
know.
we're gonna
Yeah.
get the weird. I mean, the sports port versions, if
You're right,
any
of
of
everything.
those.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll do an Assassin's Creed port. So just tone that thing down.
It's possible. I mean, it would be in their interest too, just because
Yeah.
of how fantastically the Switch is doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think they need to do that. But I mean, obviously, you're not getting Anthem on that.
Oh,
you're
no,
not
for sure.
whatever
No, no.
Respawn Star
Yeah.
Wars game is. You're not getting that
No.
on
Yeah.
Switch. Sadly, that thing's like I would think some kind of Star Wars property on Switch would be fantastic. Like, and EA has that, so just wondering if
Yeah.
they're doing anything with that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Battlefield's not being on Switch.
No.
I'm really surprised they don't make like a Switch version of Battlefield, but it takes so much resources, and I don't know if people would
I
actually
think Call of
play
Duty
it.
tried that with Wii.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's that much of an
audience
for
yeah,
it on Switch.
It's
Yeah.
probably best.
Yep.
Speaking of all that, like Activision. Oh, we know about the Crash stuff coming there.
Yeah.
Right.
And Spyro's Activision too, right?
I think
Spyro
they own it.
Trilogy.
Yeah, they both
That-
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
And was that confirmed for
No,
Switch
it has
or
not been, but I
There's
feel
a
like it's
rumor.
only a matter of time.
Yeah, I thought there's rumors that it's just a time window and it'll eventually come
Okay.
to Switch. But what? Anything else from Activision that you can think of? I mean, they.
Oh, really?
No.
No.
Because Call of Duty won't come to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't really think of any. Yeah.
What about Blizzard?
Silent. Yeah.
Blizzard.
Blizzard, yeah. There's
Diablo
always been,
3 would be
there's always
great
been
on
rumors
there.
about Blizzard
right.
stuff. Yeah.
I wish they put Diablo 3 on there.
I mean,
Yeah.
just having like the
Hearthstone. That'd be cool. I'm surprised it's not
the
on there already.
the Diablo with the Switch light thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're talking
That's
about
Right.
it. Yeah,
I kind
yeah.
of feel like Diablo 3 might
Sorry, just you jogged my mind.
actually make its way to the Switch
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, that'd be great
Yeah.
on Switch.
Yeah.
And Blizzard doesn't need to be there. Just letting
No,
Nintendo
yeah.
show it
Let 'em
during
do
the
Right.
Nintendo showing it during their
Yeah,
presentations
that's
and stuff.
hype, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. All right, here's a big one because of the support they have shown for Nintendo, and it's seen it paid off in dividends. Ubisoft,
Ah, yes.
because we know the Mario and Rabbids DLC is coming out at the end of June, and they have the one other one for Switch, right? Is Starlink is their thing, right?
Yeah.
the toy
Yeah,
ship
yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah,
Right.
that as well.
I'll be there.
Do you think they have something else big up their sleeve? Do you think Nintendo and them are like got something big to announce, or do you
I
think
don't
it's
know
still
if-
cooking?
I think it's still cooking.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they are working on something because I think everyone agrees that partnership
Yeah,
was
paid off.
fantastic. It paid off. People loved Mario and Rabbids. It seemed impossible, like it should not have worked, but it did. So I do think that they're going to be working on something with them again, but I don't think it's ready to be
Yeah.
announced.
Yeah,
personally.
Absolutely.
All right. This one I bring up because one of its games did sell well for its port on Switch, fairly well in its context. Bethesda, the Doom port. I mean, it wasn't-
Right. They just
Did a lot of effort in
Wolfenstein,
it.
too.
I mean, it charted on the Switch charts
Right.
for like in there. I think they've seen that
They did Skyrim on
Skyrim
there.
as well, and they got Wolfenstein, in the works as well. They have apparently the rumors are they have their longest meatiest like conference ever for E3 coming up. There was like rumors of a Fallout 3
There
Switch
could be
port,
3 on
like-
there or 4.
Yeah. Do you expect anything from Bethesda announced for Switch during the
Fallout
C3?
3 or 4 sounds
Yeah.
like very possible.
I could see. I mean, I could see something happening. Just like I'll say, I don't personally follow Bethesda games that much, but I know that they've been saying recently that because of Wolfenstein 2 and Skyrim and Doom, they have a really good relationship with Nintendo. So I kind of think that they're just going to keep working with them. Like,
Yeah.
I do
Why not?
think we'll see something, either a Fallout port or obviously not Fallout 76, but yeah, like
Yeah.
a port of 3 or 4 or something. Yeah, I could see it happening.
Like Dishonored's possible, but I think Fallout's
Yeah.
more likely.
Yeah, something tells me that Fallout's like the most likely
Yeah.
candidate
Yeah.
for
They'll
that.
probably do the best.
I mean, I know they keep getting like kind of like these ports or enhanced port versions. I'm waiting for that like original version of a game. Like, yes, if there's a new Fallout, it'll probably be on like the newer platforms or the PS4, Xbox One, PC probably first. But I'd love them to like assemble a team to make like Switch game,
Yeah.
like not just versions,
Just
but
a
unique
Switch game.
Switch Fallout game would be
Yeah.
like so nice
That
to
would be
see.
cool.
And beyond Bethesda, like everyone doing this. Any other third parties that you think will have big announcements for Switch stuff that might have overlooked? I know we already saw some stuff from like Suda recently about Travis Strikes Again.
Right.
So, but anything else?
I feel so. I really almost feel stupid even suggesting this, but because Super Bomberman R has done surprisingly well on Switch, and because Konami seems to have somewhat found the plot in terms of like the Vic Viper Bomber DLC and like whatever the Castlevania Bomber, the Jehudi Bomber. Like, do you think that we could see something announced from Konami? Like, I feel like there is a potential there.
I wonder if they can get Zone of the Enders, because they have the Second Runner VR experience coming out in HD, but that game can't be, like, even the PS3 HD stuff, that can't be too hard to put on Switch.
No,
it's just whether or not they want to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if there's enough of a...
Yeah.
I don't think there's very much of a convincing
like
reason for them to do Zone of the Enders.
I mean, Bomberman stuff, I can see them continuing to do because Bomberman is doing well, did well on Switch, is still doing well, or I assume it's still doing well. But you mentioned all that, like, that stuff that came to it.
Yeah.
I definitely see, like, their retro catalog being the thing they would leverage the most versus newer stuff, like any newer projects. That
I really hope Konami does a Castlevania collection.
Yes.
Like, finally, something, especially after seeing, like, maybe success of Bloodstained, they're like, maybe we should get on that.
That would be really nice. They have a bunch of stuff. I know Elf in the Room, like, do they do anything with, like, Metal Gear? Like, do they bring a Metal Gear game to Switch or something?
Portable to Switch.
Here's Metal Gear HD Collection for Switch. Enjoy. Like, you know.
Here's the 3DS version of MGS3 on Switch.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't see anything beyond, like, Bomberman being, like, too... I mean, I could actually see Bomberman being... I know there's the Simon Belmont room, but even Bomberman and Smash.
I could see Bomberman as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think would be really cool.
Yeah, that might make more sense, actually. I don't expect too much from Konami, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, at this point.
Of course not, no.
Not really.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of missing any third-party support that would be there. I mean, there's a lot of smaller publishers. I'll definitely have, like, things here and there, but something like a big announcement, I guess, like, it kind of, like, escapes me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, I have some rapid fire prediction questions.
All right.
That we're going to go through to wrap this up. Our first one comes from Tyler Courtney. Here we go. What Wii U port do you think is most likely to be revealed, if any? Love and respect, Tyler.
Sorry, one more time? Which
Wii U port to
Wii
Switch?
U port, okay. Paper Mario Color Splash.
Wind Waker HD.
Oh, yes, because I'm thinking about this. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I do
I would love them put Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the same thing.
That's going to happen eventually.
Oh, yeah. Wind Waker HD is definitely happening on there.
Yeah.
I know they want Wonderful 101 to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Wind Waker is probably first.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I think Paper Mario Color Splash will be there, but after I wasn't even thinking Zelda. I kind of agree with you. I think it's really just going to be Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twilight Princess HD as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse Abraham. Hello, guys. Will we get a surprise peek at the theme for the next Zelda, similar to the first Breath of the Wild trailer, or possibly a look at the next 2D Zelda? I got Zelda on the brain, so sorry.
No to the first, possibly to the second.
Yeah, I think it's more handheld team.
Yeah, I think it's possible that we could see a tease of a new 2D Zelda, but I don't think we're going to see anything about the Breath of the Wild successor, even a hint or a tease. No way.
Nothing on the next mainline Zelda. Yeah. There's the rumor that was going on a little while ago about a Link's Awakening remake.
I remember that.
That was going
that's
around.
Possible. Could be like.
Oh my God.
I mean, a new 2D Zelda would be amazing. Yeah. I think we'll get another. I think
a Link Between Worlds style.
Yeah, a Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes graphical style Zelda game possibly announced. If not at E3, maybe by the end of the year for next year, because I think it's a next year game.
I mean, I could see a Link's Awakening remake done on that engine. I'd be fine with that as well. I mean,
I'd take it. That. Hell yeah.
I mean, the idea is awesome. I'm very particular about that they have Koizumi, Yoshiaki Koizumi involved, because that's like one of his like personal games that he like kind of crafted. If he had like no involvement, I'd be a little bit like.
And Link's Awakening is so special among Zelda games. It has its very unique just tone. It's
But I'm not completely opposed to the idea. Like it could go well. Daniel, hi panel. Do you see another main Final Fantasy making its way onto the Switch?
It depends on
a new one.
Or like a new one.
Oh no,
okay.
No.
Probably, yeah. I don't know about a new.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, it depends on if you consider Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition new. Then I do think we might see that actually come to Switch.
Like I don't think we're seeing 16 on Switch or anything like that.
No, or 7 remake.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
so.
gonna happen.
Oh yeah, we'll get
Well,
the
7 remake is a possibility, but I honestly I don't feel like 7
7
remake is going to
remake
happen until
pocket
like
edition.
2019 or 2029.
All right, I agree. I do think we'll see something. We won't see another mainline Final Fantasy on a new mainline Final Fantasy on Switch, but something Final Fantasy will be coming to Switch at some point for sure. German scientist, good day, allies. How likely do you think it is that How likely do you think it is that extensive DLC will be revealed for Super Mario Odyssey? Ooh. And if so, what might said DLC be? What do you want it to be? Dream big. So this is more than the outfits and stuff. Like we're talking about like scenarios, new worlds, and stuff like that.
It's gotta be new worlds.
That's what. We actually talked about exactly this on a Game Explain discussion. I do think there are going to be DLC kingdoms for Mario Odyssey. I think there should be. And you actually, the way you worded the question, you already have what I want out of it. You said dream big. I want a Subcon kingdom, a Mario 2 literal dream world Subcon kingdom. I want that cool. So much. I don't think it'll happen, but I do think that we're going to get legitimate kingdom DLC for Mario Odyssey at some point. Maybe, perhaps E3 will be the right time.
I mean,
think, too.
after Zelda having DLC,
exactly. Like, why wouldn't
possible.
they do it?
Yeah.
And there's clearly not that they can't even make more space anyway, but there's clearly space on the Kingdom Select screen for a couple more on the end there. So I think it'll happen.
I mean, I'm sure they got some cool ideas in there. I personally wanted them to go the full distance with the endings. The final kingdom, basically. I hope DLC will fully realize that you can go through all of Peach's castle and go into paintings.
That would make it Mario 64.
Super Mario 64 is completely redone in Odyssey's graphics and engine.
The Super Mario 64 kingdom.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm down for that. That would be amazing.
Just want a Ghost Kingdom, man.
Oh yeah, the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That's
gotta do that.
Luigi cameo right there. Another Luigi cameo. He's gonna be in there.
Love it.
Yeah, you need a Boo Kingdom. Yeah,
so good. James Vest, good day, allies, and Ash. My question is for Ash.
All right.
Would you rather have a new Mega Man X or a true Chrono Trigger sequel?
What? Oh man, you really put me on the spot here. Jeez. So a new Mega Man X or a Chrono Trigger sequel? If and only if they get the original Dream Team back to work, or at the very least Masato Kato for a Chrono sequel, then that's my answer. But if it's like, if they're not going to get the right people to do it, then I would have to say like a new Mega Man X game. But as much as I love Mega Man X, and you guys know that I do, Chrono Trigger is my favorite game of all time. So
nice.
I got to put Chrono first, but it's got to be specifically, if not the whole Dream Team, has got to be Masato Kato and Yasunori Mitsuda. Those two people need to be on a Chrono 3. Otherwise, I can wait.
I want your answer too, Brad.
Oh, it's Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Mega Man's like still alive.
And plus, here's the thing: is like for the first time in 8 years, I can actually say that I kind of really believe Mega Man X9 is going to happen at some point now. Like,
I feel like the
Mega Man's
momentum
not
is
dead.
there.
He's
there's
alive.
a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah,
exactly.
Here we go.
So we got 11 coming. I kind of think,
we're going to it. Ibrahim Sozer, do you think Western third-party developers will port their games to the Switch, or continue to keep just porting their games to the Switch? Or do you think we will see a lot of third-party remasters on the Switch instead of big new games? So I guess they're asking, do you think at any point will we start getting some of these newly announced games for multi-platform on Switch as well? Or we just gonna get these like remasters or tweaks of like older versions? Do you think we'll ever get to that point with third parties in Switch?
I think it'll continue to be a mix because we have seen this already. We've seen new third-party releases on multiple platform already, like Sonic Forces and Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection and things like that. So, and of course those are ports, but still, I do think it's going to be a mix. I think we'll see multi-platform releases as happening with Mega Man 11, for example. But I also think that, like, for a lot of the big, like first-person shooter type games and like really big AAA titles, we'll probably see staggered releases or no releases at all, or ports down the line or something like that.
Yeah, I mean specifically like Western companies, I would love to see like the gap close between like Wolfenstein 2 release and then the Switch version.
That's true. It was specifically Western companies I asked about.
I mean, I would like to see that day when it closes down, but like, I just, other than Bethesda, I'm just not seeing the like the hints and the evidence there yet. Who knows? Maybe E3 will change that.
And I don't really see there being like a convincing argument for even Bethesda to be like, okay, instead of really putting all of our eggs in the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X basket with our big new AAA whatever, I don't think there's much of a compelling argument for them to like scale that down for Switch and even have to worry about that at the same time.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
great.
Yeah.
Quinn, will Pikmin 4 reveal itself? And what does the game need to show for you to get excited?
Man, I mean, I feel like it's been time for Pikmin 4 for so long. Years, but I don't know if we're going to see it. I don't know. I hate to even say this. I don't know what it would have to show to get me excited because I'm not a Pikmin fan, really. I'm not into unit management. It's nothing against Pikmin. I think Pikmin's cool. Olimar cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just not into unit management type games. So,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Pikmin's cool, but I'm not like...
It's just not my thing.
I'm not stoked. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, Pikmin.
Yeah.
But it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool if it's there. Awesome.
I don't think we're going to see it for whatever reason. Even though it's past time, I kind of think we're not going to see it this year.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yeah,
It's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
What if Retro's working on a new
Yeah, we're doing retro Pikmin game. There we go. Now we're
Yeah.
excited. Here we go. David, 3DS support. Which, if any, first-party IP would you actually prefer to see on 3DS?
None of them?
Yeah, none?
I'm sorry. I'm not opposed to them continuing to support both and having games come out on both, but I don't want any 3DS only IP stuff anymore. I don't want another
Kind of a
Metroid
waste
Samus
now,
Returns. Yeah.
with the success that the Switch is. Missed
Yeah,
opportunity.
I'm sorry. I don't want another Samus Return situation where we get like these really cool new.
Yeah, why is that on
games and-
Switch?
Yeah,
Let me put it on Switch.
I mean, I will say there are like the stereoscopic 3D, and that was awesome, but not so awesome that I would
like,
also want to
yes,
see it on
yeah.
Switch. So
Like, I would love the Bravely Default games on Switch or
oh,
something
God,
like that.
Yeah.
I'd be extremely disappointed if the Link's Awakening thing turns out to be true and it's 3DS.
Oh
That's
my God,
the thing.
Damiani,
That's the
don't
one
even
thing I
put that
don't-
in my brain.
Sorry.
I do not want another 2D
was
Zelda
kind of
that's
the
3DS
rumor,
only.
yeah.
Please no.
Yeah. As lots of our viewers like to point out that this happens like Luigi's Mansion. It's asset management stuff that or asset production stuff that it is cheaper and easier to make stuff for 3DS, and then like to have to upscale that for Switch, it costs more. Like bringing the GameCube stuff from Luigi's Mansion to 3DS within Dark Moon's engine supposedly is an easier effort because of the 3DS is lower resolution, so you have to worry it's an easier job. Whereas if they have to bring it to Switch and it has to be displayed on a big TV, there's more consideration to take into more things taken into consideration. And I sort of see like it's not as simple as it's like, why can't they just do that?
No,
on
and
that?
it never
Yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
never as simple as you think it is, the game development or even porting process. However, I will say, talking about 2D Zelda for a second, to a degree, they can take that risk with Metroid because Metroid isn't one of their best-selling IPs. They have a really vested interest in not only releasing a brand new Zelda game, 2D or 3D, on their, dying handheld. I know the 3DS is still doing fine, but it doesn't make sense for them to lock a new Zelda game.
They should want you to be excited about their new hardware and everything like that, too.
Zelda
And, like, no
specifically.
offense
Yeah.
to Luigi's Mansion or anything, but Zelda's a much bigger deal than Luigi's Mansion.
Exactly. So, yeah.
All right.
So, like, them putting the effort into Zelda seems much more realistic to me.
Okay.
I have a question for you guys really quick.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because we didn't. This wasn't asked by one of the backers. Mother 3. What the hell is happening? What's happening?
Good question.
Drops the Mother 3 thing. Well,
What's going on with that?
is this the question
Drives me
every single
crazy.
year? Will it become
Yeah,
reality?
Mother 3.
Yeah.
I would have to go with no. I'm sorry.
I don't think. I don't think.
I don't
so
think it
either.
will either, but God, just do it.
I know. I think we're
Do
gonna
it.
get. I think we're gonna get like a Game Boy Classic or a Game Boy Advance Classic, and that's gonna be like the Star Fox 2.
Yeah, you're right.
They're gonna make it. They're gonna put it behind some annoying paywall or something. Yeah.
That actually was the end of the rapid fire. The last one we actually talked about. You talked about the Persona dancing, like portable Persona like stuff coming over. So that was the end of it. There was one thing I kind of like. I didn't have it on the notes, but I saw it come up a little bit. It kind of involved the announcement of Nintendo taking away like the stripped down version of the Switch coming out without the dock and everything like that. Is that announced only for Japan only right now?
Yeah.
So do you think they're going to announce, like, that's my question. Do you think we'll get any kind of announcement about any kind of the, like, slim down version or, like, truncated version of, like, Switch at this E3? Like, no, like, not a hard, like, we know the Tegra chip stuff is getting revised behind the scenes.
Right.
To combat that loophole for,
Right.
well, among other things, to combat the way to homebrew your system. But you don't see that coming to, like, North America or any other territory, really, the, like, dockless Switch.
I mean, I think they'll do that. I think there will be a dockless Switch, but that's not an E3 announcement. They'll just drop that at
Side
some
thing.
point.
Yeah.
And now, this is Nintendo. We're guaranteed at some point to get an annoyingly named new Nintendo Switch or something that's revised. I think we're getting a hardware revision, just not this year, because why? The
Early
Switch is
still.
killing it. Why would they cannibalize their own market and introduce a new model when the Switch is already doing gangbusters? There's literally no reason for them to.
No, I
Yet.
agree.
Next
I-
year, sure.
I don't think it's.
Yeah, I think
big
it's a little
announcement,
early.
Yeah.
Maybe when the newer systems are kind of the rumblings are starting to come out.
Oh, yeah,
and they'll
yeah.
be like, hey, we got this though too.
PS5
Yeah.
in 3 years.
Yeah.
Xbox 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox One, 2,
1.5 too.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I want to wrap it up. Do you have any like crazy fantasy thing that you want to see happen from announced from Nintendo at this E3? Doesn't have to, whatever. Just dream big and stuff. Like something we have not talked about that you think could be there, even if it's not happening anytime soon, just to be announced. Like,
So it does have to be within the realm of possibility.
you know what? Scratch that point. Just something you would like to see. I think it's more fun when it's a little bit believable to get people excited. I mean, whatever. But just something that would like be hype, because a lot of the stuff is like, I think right now it's like Star Fox is like the biggest question mark if that's true, and what Metroid Prime 4 will look like. But in terms of like brand new announcements, none of this, like I can't, like I'm having a hard time thinking of something that would get me excited that would be like within the realm of possibility, because we're not getting next Zelda announced, like next Breath of the Wild style Zelda announced here. We're not getting the next 3D Mario, like nothing on that caliber per se. So what is there? Like, can you think of anything that would get you like, holy crap, like that reaction?
It might not be the scale, but I'm hoping for, you said no Zelda, but I'm hoping for the Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask treatment here. So like a new Zelda.
Just take my answer.
Was that your answer? That's what I'm hoping for now, man. Like a new Zelda with that engine, everything in there.
Oh no, okay, you're talking about something different. Never
It
mind.
could be
Sorry.
it could be a sequel to Breath of the Wild or something, like in a new world. Just
the
like
Grezzo developed 3DS Ocarina, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So like an older style 3D adventure Zelda game on Switch.
No.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about like how we had Ocarina of Time, then we had Majora's Mask, using a lot of the same assets, but taking place in a completely different world.
Also,
like
like
a continuation.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like a brand new,
Yeah,
like a new
brand
Zelda
new.
game that's made with those assets and engine.
yes,
Yes,
Is
like,
that
okay.
the same? Do you
So
like want it in that?
Yeah, it could
same...
be the
An
same
N64
link, yeah.
era style Zelda, but a brand new one.
Yeah, that's what I
basically.
meant,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's not quite what I was gonna say, but
Fair enough.
What do you got, Ash?
Okay, so I'll give you both. Like within the realm possibility, we've actually already talked about it. Sora and Smash. That's like that would be super hype for me.
That would be great.
But I'm going to take it a step further. Something that I don't think is going to happen, but would send me over the moon. A new Rhythm Heaven for Switch. That is all I
Rhythm
want
Heaven,
from Nintendo.
yeah, it's been a while.
Interesting.
All I want from them either is a Megamix port of Switch or a brand new Rhythm Heaven for Switch. I want that so much. I can't even describe it properly. I just love that.
That's
series
very
to death.
within the realm of realistic.
Yeah.
You think
That sounds
so?
much-
I don't think it's realistic at all, given
I think
how
it's more
Nintendo just
I'm not
doesn't
the
seem
same.
to...
I
Okay,
thought
fair
like
enough.
mine was within the context. So,
All right.
Mine is. It's also give it away. It's Zelda themed, but it's because of that stupid Blue Point rumor. And it's the 20th. It's the 20th anniversary of this game. Give me that Ocarina of Time HD on Switch, baby, by Blue Point.
Yeah. Okay.
Woo, looking like that Shell Colossus
Yeah.
caliber HD on Switch.
Yeah, that would be...
Yeah.
I mean, it won't look as good as that.
I mean,
Yeah.
as good as it
But,
can on
yeah.
like one of the best looking games
Yeah.
on Switch, baby.
That'd be great, man.
Make it happen.
That would
I
be really
love it.
cool.
Like, I would go nuts. But
Yeah, that would be cool.
it's plausible, but I
Better
don't think it's
yet,
happening.
add Majora's Mask to that too.
It's a lot of work.
Both.
That's a tall order. Let's not get too
Yeah.
greedy.
Blue Point knows what they're
Too greedy
doing.
there,
They
Brad.
know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna wrap it up. I really didn't have anything else. I thought this was gonna take like forever. I know we skipped over some of like the titles, but woof.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, I mean, it's mostly a lot of questions to be answered at E3 versus the going into it rather than like new announcements
Good
we're
point.
expecting. It's a little different type of E3, but I think that's what a lot of people have is like what does Nintendo have for us going forward that's like compelling enough? Like they've shown us time and time again with the Switch, they have really good software and it's selling well. It's always going to be this question that's going to dog them. Can they sustain it over time? Will there ever come a point where a full-priced, quote-unquote, port of a Wii U game is going to eventually take its toll on people? Now, we came up with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and, we tried to defend it a bit, but there are people out there just like, that's inexcusable for Nintendo to do. People will pay it. I will personally say it would be nice if it was like $39.99 or something.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I
I
would
mean-
love it to be cheaper, but at the same time, Nintendo's perspective is that Wii U bombed hard, and no one bought
Yeah.
these games, not to the extent they wanted.
I mean, I think people's word choices can be interesting sometimes. It is not inexcusable. It sucks for people like us who played it on Wii U, and I haven't rebought it at $60, but inexcusable? Nintendo's a business. It's perfectly excusable if they can sell it for that much, So, I mean, that sucks for us, and I personally would have priced it at least $49, if not $39.99. But Nintendo can get away with it because it's a fantastic game, and nobody played it on Wii U because nobody had a Wii U.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is they can get away with it because for so many people, we're the exception.
Yeah.
So many people, it's a brand new $59.99 game.
That's always like, I don't want to get into that. It's a whole different subject. But the other question is like, we think we've heard everything about Switch Online, and everyone's kind of like, oh, that's it? Nice. It's like, is there anything else to it? Like, maybe there's something more at E3 possibly.
That's the sad thing is I really don't think
I don't think there is either.
There probably
but,
isn't.
you know, I know some people will be like,
come on, baby.
Achievements, or you know, even this announcement like, hey, offline saves are coming at least. You know, that'd be nice.
Or just
like
maybe
that.
some sort of indication that we're definitely getting Super Nintendo games down the line and not just
multiplayer
NES
games. We have
like,
planned for other console games to come to our little.
They don't even need to give me Super Nintendo. Just give me multiplayer Tetris Attack, like an online Tetris Attack, that one game, and I'll let them off the hook. That's like really, that's like the only Super Nintendo game I want. Yeah,
GameCube.
Yeah.
That's it. I still feel good about E3. Still excited.
Oh, I'm looking
it'll
forward.
always be a surprise.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is a Smash. I mean, that alone is going to just answer so many people's questions. I mean, this is the E3 of Smash Brothers. That they're going to ride that and they're going to use that and
Again, the questions. What is it? And it's not like
what is it? Who's in it?
That's
exactly.
the theme of Nintendo for this E3.
Yeah.
I want to give another special thanks to Ash for joining us.
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy to join you guys anytime. I love these discussions, and I'm happy to be here whenever.
Thank you, Brad, for staying late. We're recording this pretty late on a Thursday
It's
night.
almost 10 p.m.
Yeah, we're hitting the time limit here, though, but thank you for staying up late for that. And as a reminder, everyone who is watching, if you are a $5 and above patron, you are part of our early access tier. You get this episode of Friend Code and a lot of other episodes of different shows early in advance of when everyone else gets to get them publicly on YouTube. But additionally, if you are a $5 patron, you are eligible to submit questions for each episode. The week that we're recording, I will make that post on Patreon calling for your Q&A submissions. And if you're a new first-time watcher, as you saw, I love to integrate your questions into the discussion to drive it because I love the discussions that come out of it. And I feel like you have a little bit of a participation factor in the episode. And we've been doing this for the last few episodes, and it's been going well. If you're starting to think it's like not working or anything, please let me know. I also love to hear your feedback in the comments and read all of those to help make the show better. But again, thank you to everyone who submitted questions for this episode, and thank you again to both of you for joining me. And next time you see us, it'll actually be during E3.
All right, E3 time.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yep.
Until then, may the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.